She was finally here. No, they were finally here. Generations after her homeworld fell and her people were forced into subservience for the Corv Empire, they were finally achieving a true victory. In front of her stood the mainframe of the Guardian, a powerful AI responsible for guarding the entire eastern border with its massive automated fleets. Them standing here was the result of a century-long plan filled with sacrifice and martyrs. Countless setbacks throughout the years made her question the possibility of success for their revolution, but standing here, now, she could feel countless hands pushing her forward. All those who believed, hoped, begged, and sacrificed for the cause were guiding her to this moment. I can't believe it. The silence was broken by one of her comrades. After everything, it's... He choked, holding back tears. Another moved to comfort him. We did it. It's so hard to believe we did it. Jubilation and relief marked his voice. Even in the absence of traditional sapient facial features, everyone could relate to him. The emotions he was feeling were mirrored by everyone present. This was a dream, a foolish hope that they and billions of others had staked everything for the remote possibility of it one day paying off. And she, Frelt Sakri Jobash, fourth leader of the resistance that started it all, was the one to finally see their dream come true. Once they took control of the Guardian, the Empire would be forced to capitulate. Although a military victory was not possible, this conflict would severely weaken the Corv Empire to the point where they would be vulnerable to an invasion by the Holy Federation. It was in the Corps' best interests to avoid what in their eyes would be a civil war. It was in the Resistance's best interest as well to avoid such a conflict. Not only could they not truly win a prolonged war, the respective races that made up the leading council of the Resistance would face retribution. So a deal would be made. The eastern border and its surrounding systems would be made into a vassal state. This solution didn't go over well with a lot of people, but after years of debate, this was the best conclusion they could come up with that didn't involve a massively destructive galactic war. She turned to address her strike team, a dozen freedom fighters representing a dozen different races, all with different beliefs and values, but united against the Corv's oppression. Today will be remembered in history, our history. Not just a footnote in theirs, but the beginning of ours. In this moment I stand proudly before you and announce that all of our sacrifices have been worth it. All those comrades and family lost. All those lines crossed. Today we make them worth it. Today we finally taste the fruits of our labor. She turned to... She couldn't turn. She couldn't move. Inspiring as always, Frel. Wouldn't expect anything less from you. The door to the massive room they found themselves in opened once again to reveal Preston. Although we've rarely agreed on anything, this will be one of the few where you and I have an understanding. As he entered the room and walked past them, their voices became known. Preston, what's happening? Why can't I move? What have you done? Traitor! When he reached Frelt's, he turned around. I have locked your battlesuits temporarily. When I finish what I came here to do, I'll unlock them. The massive Grok flexed his forearms as hard as he could, in an attempt to break free from his suit. It was for naught. How much did the cause pay you, dog? Preston turned to face the operating console of the mainframe. Nothing. I'm not doing this for them. Then why are you doing this? He stopped fiddling with the console for a moment, and turned to face Freltz. I'm doing this for my people. A booming voice screamed from the back. We are all doing this for our people! Yeah, I know, was Preston's quick, cold response as he resumed his work. Then why are you betraying us? Like I said, I'm doing this for my people. Preston, I don't understand. A softer voice made itself heard. It belonged to a small trooper. What benefits your races isn't acceptable to mine. We've agreed that the newly formed council will have a seat for everyone and... I didn't agree to anything. You all overruled me. I wasn't in favor of capitulation from the start. Grok spoke again. You wanted open war against the Empire. Of course we'd stand against it. I know it's hard to understand for an endangered specimen, but we all have to think about the consequences for our species. Preston stopped tipping and gripped the edges of the console. Victory can't be achieved without sacrifice. Azave joined in. The very reason we all agreed to this plan was because it would cause the least destruction and would leave us with enough breathing room to gather our strength for a true revolution. He couldn't take it anymore, especially not now. What do you know of revolution? The coldness of the way he said those words made a very heavy silence fall upon the room. What do any of you know about sacrifice? He turned to face them, the calm and calculating mask he'd shown them for decades, finally cracking. All these talks of sacrifices and prices and lines crossed and... God! It's like watching a child repeating a word back at you without knowing its meaning. He quickly turned to press one last button on the console. With this, true change will take place. For a moment they stood confused as to his intent, until the chamber speakers cracked to life. Targets locked, commencing the attack. It took a moment for Frost to understand what was going on, and when she did, a chill ran down her spine. You didn't. Please. Please tell me you didn't. The fleets will attack the core of Empire's military industry, crippling them to an invasion of the Holy Federation. In the ensuing war, both sides will be severely weakened, leaving the races they forcibly assimilated to rise up against them. Shocked silence filled the room, until the grok broke it. You murderer! The blood of countless billions will stain your hands! Can't have a successful revolution without getting your hands dirty. Monster! We should have never let you join us! A sarcastic laugh escaped Preston. Join you? He paused. Join you. Oh, that's rich. You joined us. We were the first to resist. To truly resist. We were the first to push back a ground invasion. We were the first to rout a core fleet. We were the first individual species to take the fight to them, outside of our home system. We were the first to liberate and enslave species. We were the first to have our birthplace cracked after standing alone against the core for 30 years. He took a breath. While we stood alone against their fleets, what did you do? Nothing. You did nothing. Countless envoys we sent you, begging to pick up arms and join the fight. If we stand together, we can push them back. An involuntary laugh escaped them. And what were the responses? It's too risky. The cost would be too high. It wouldn't be worth it. All we've ever gotten was sympathetic smiles and wishes for our success. Not one of you bothered to help us, not even in the information and materials front. What if it's traced back to us? What if they find out? Nothing. We got nothing from you. And the nail in the coffin? After the United Human Republic fell along with the solar system and the remnants of humanity were cast into the void to die out, we were the ones who had to reach out to your assistance for any kind of support. He stopped talking then, his fists bleeding from the force, which he held them closed. And even then, we had to give you our few remaining warships to prove our dedication to the cause. He had to force air back into his lungs. Less than 2 billion humans survived the fall of Sol. In the next few years, we were hunted and shunned by the wider galaxy. Our numbers dwindling to as low as 100 million from the constant attacks by the Empire, from new diseases to which we had no defense or medicine against, from hunger, as none would trade with our nomadic fleets. Unable to settle anywhere, we lived constantly on the run. None present dared to interrupt him. We understand. It just wasn't in your species' interest to help our plight. But now, this vassal state idea isn't in humanity's interests either, and we won't allow our enemies to keep living scot-free from our justice. We've been preparing for this for a while now, and we have plenty of experience thriving in chaos. He started walking back to the door, passing the shamed trapped figures that dared to call themselves his comrades. You'll be able to move in 5 minutes. The door opened. In the ashes of this galaxy, we will rise up again. The door closed.